Food reviewer Keith Lee had this to say on his recent trip to the DMV.
It's the whiting with the sweet potatoes and mac and cheese. Unfortunately, I won't be trying any of it. As always, I ain't trying to be rude, I'm just be honest. The smell of this, insane. This perforated the whole car immediately. So much so that my family went back in and asked if they fried it in the same grease that they did the shellfish. And come to find out, they do. And it smelled like it. It smells like shellfish. It smells like frozen fish. It smells like fish. It smells almost unedible, in my opinion. I don't want no smoke.
Now, he brings up a very interesting topic as it pertains to the cooking oils that are used by these local and even chain restaurants. How often do they actually change their oils? And better yet, what's the impact on your body when you consume it? Let's get into it. And welcome to another edition of Samba News. I'm Dwayne. Thank you so much for tuning in. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed by now, what are you even waiting on? Hit the subscribe button because we got videos coming out. I would say every other day. We got all kind of informative things that are coming out. Make sure you check it out, and we keep it fun. We keep it upbeat and all of that. So make sure you check it out, and I really appreciate you being here. Now, we all know what the economy is right now. I mean, things are expensive, man, out here. And so in some cases, it's a lot cheaper to go out and, to get your food already made, like some of these food trucks or, or going to these local restaurants or even some of these chain restaurants. And so everybody trying to cut corners, right? Including the restaurants themselves. Now, that is a problem because some of these restaurants, what they're doing in order to cut corners, they're cutting corners on the food that they're serving. And one of the expensive items that a lot of these restaurants have to purchase on a regular basis is cooking oil. And so when and so this is something that we really need to pay attention to, because if you don't clean it or you don't change it out on a regular basis, then that means a lot of people out there that are getting sick. And believe it or not, there's different degrees of getting sick. I mean, you have some people who just end up in a hospital. I mean, like that extreme. But then you got some folks who, it's kind of like, man, I just had a really bad reaction to that food. I think I'm just sit down a little bit. And even something minor, I know this is embarrassing, but, it's in pass a gas. Yes, I said it. Even that, if you notice that has been an uptick, after going to that restaurant, then that's your way. That's the way your body is trying to communicate to you that maybe you shouldn't go there again. Now, there's a video or videos. All I've got to say is search for it yourself on YouTube. And they're talking about China, but I think this is probably all over the place. Have you ever heard of gutter grease or spit grease? Just search for it. That's all I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not trying to go there. Okay. But it is a thing. Okay. So you need to check that out. My goodness. Anyway. Now, if you haven't checked out, a few years ago, we did a video. It was talking about the dangers of this particular fish here called swai. Now, a lot of restaurants actually serve it, but they don't call it that. Instead, they'll say it's like whitefish or whiting or whatever. Well, I mean, when you cook most fish, the texture or the color of the meat is white. So what fish are we talking about? Well, it's this one in particular that they use. It's called swai. And I encourage you, go check out this video. It's only like a few minutes long. It's not that long, but check it out because we talk about the dangers of it. And also at the end of that video, we talk about some things that you need to be aware of and some solutions to that. So now here are the topics that we're going to cover real quickly in this video. Number one, what is the impact? What happens to your body when you do consume oils that haven't been changed in a long time? Second thing is, yes, you most definitely should ask. If you're a customer, you should definitely ask, but we're going to show you kind of how a practical way of asking. Okay. And then thirdly, we're going to talk about very quickly what are some herbal or natural remedies to, if you do consume these foods and you are just, experiencing some disruption in the force, down below, there's some natural and herbal solutions to that. And we're going to talk about that very quickly as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so I got a list here that I'm going to go through, and it kind of explains the different things that your body goes through when you're consuming these oils. So let's go ahead and hit it. Okay, so number one, formation of harmful compounds, oxidation and free radicals. Cooking oil degrades with repeated use, especially at high temperatures. The degradation leads to the formation of oxidized fat and free radicals, which are harmful compounds that cause cellular damage in the body. When you consume foods cooked in old oil, you introduce these harmful compounds into your digestive system. All right. Trans fats. Okay. Repeated heating of oil can also lead to the formation of trans fats. Trans fats are known to increase bad cholesterol, or LDL, and decrease good cholesterol, HDL, contributing to heart disease. These fats are also difficult to digest and can cause inflammation in the digestive system. So if you go to these restaurants and you notice that, after you've eaten the food and you notice that your stomach seems like it's little stuff, a lot of times we'll look at our stomach. We're like, oh, I'm just stuffed. I sure ate a lot. Look at my stomach. No, that's called inflammation, honey. That's inflammation. That's your body like, oh my God, I got to do something with this. So your body is actually becoming inflamed because of these oils. Okay, so anyway, let's move on. Digestive discomfort and slower digestion. Well, I mean, it's no surprise here. All of these sound pretty much the same, but your digestive system is pretty important. Anyway, harder to digest. Fried foods, especially those cooked in old oil, are harder for the digestive system to break down. The high fat content, coupled with the altered chemical structure of the oils, slow down the digestive process. This can lead to indigestion, bloating, and a feeling of heaviness after eating. Our Jamaican brothers out there and sisters, they say they call it the itis. But again, depending on the oils that you're putting in there, it's not just, oh, the food was so good it puts me to sleep. No, what oils are you using? Did they change the oil? All right, so the next one is the impact on gut microbiome. All right, and what happens basically is that the healthy gut microbiome is essential for proper digestion and overall health. The harmful compounds in old oil can disrupt the balance, potentially leading to dysbiosis, an imbalance of gut bacteria, which is associated with digestive issues and even mental health conditions like anxiety and depression. Oh my goodness. Did you know that old oil can be connected to anxiety and depression? What have you been eating? And you've been wondering, is everything else? You've been blaming everything else, but maybe it's the oils that you're consuming. All right. We're almost finished here. Potential for food poisoning. Well, I think that's obvious. Let's see. Bacteria growth. Old oil, especially if not stored properly, can become a breeding ground for harmful bacteria. If food cooked in such oil is consumed, there is an increased risk of food poisoning, leading to symptoms like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and stomach cramps. You know how we say, oh man, my stomach been bubbling. That's what it's talking about. Right? Absorption of toxins. Now, this one is interesting. It says accumulation of toxins. Reused oil can accumulate toxic compounds if the oil has been heated to high temperatures repeatedly. All right. And they mention these different chemicals that your body can accumulate if you are taking in these old oils, because it's constantly cooking in this same bin over and over again, and it's collecting all these chemicals and all that other stuff, and that's what's happening. All right. Impaired nutrient. So yeah, before I move on that, what happens too is that now your body is like, okay, I'm used to, when I'm eating food, right, I'm used to basic simple stuff. Okay, if I eat a carrot, okay, that's simple. If I eat this, okay, that's simple. If I eat that, that's it. But now you're putting in chemicals. So your body, is almost like you're dropping Rubik's cubes into your digestive system, and your digestive system looking at you like, wait a minute, I'm not designed to be figuring out Rubik's cubes. I'm designed to just to break this food down very simply and get it out. You ain't hiring me to do it to solve a Rubik's cube. But when you're eating these harmful oils, that's what's happening. All right. And so it's taking your body a lot longer to break it down. So now that you know this information, I mean, how do you deal with it? Like when you're at this restaurant, do you just ask? Well, yeah, you should. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's the thing. Let me give you a tip, because I know that, in this day and age, we got a lot of socially awkward people out there. So what I will say is this: don't do this. OK, don't go there like this. Like, okay, so before can you tell me when was the last time you changed the oil? Because if you do that, they're already going to be on the defensive. Okay, so you don't want to come in like that. Okay, instead, I would probably come like this. I would just, keep it upbeat, right? And just say, man, okay, all right, this is good. You're looking at the menu or whatever. And I prefer the looking up method. Okay, not looking down, but looking up, because I want to say things are looking up, So it's like this. So I'm like, okay, all right, cool. Okay. All right. So let me ask you something. How often do you guys change your oil? Your cooking oil? Because, I just had this thing with my stomach, man. And, I'm just curious, And so if you keep it upbeat, the chances are it'll disarm them a little bit, but if even with that, if they're still kind of like defensive, then that's probably a clear indication that they don't change it too often. Okay. But so I would do that. That's kind of how I would approach it. I know it can be a bit uncomfortable because we're so programmed to just go in there, ordering our food and leaving. But if you've had issues with your stomach before, especially if it's a brand new place, you don't want to take any chances. Okay. So now finally, what are some natural things you can do? Like if you've already eaten at these places or whatever, and you feeling your stomach gotten tore up, after eating all of that food or whatever, and you're just paying for it. What are some natural things you can do? Well, there's some things out here, let's do the rundown. So some of you don't know, but ginger, natural ginger. Okay. Natural ginger is a very good option. Ginger is known for its anti-inflammatory and digestive properties. It can help reduce nausea, improve digestion, and alleviate bloating. Doesn't that sound like it matches? Ginger also stimulates the production of digestive enzymes, which can enhance nutrient absorption. All right. So you can use it like, ginger tea or, that kind of thing. Some people even chew on ginger, that kind of thing. Or, you get a ginger drink, that's another thing. I would try to stay away as much as possible from like a ginger ale. I know some folks do that because it's got a lot of sugar in it. So you want to because sugar feeds these bacteria. You don't want to feed it. You don't want to do that. So ginger is a good place. Is a good place to start. All right. Another one is turmeric. And here we go. Here are the benefits of turmeric. Turmeric contains curcumin, all right, a powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant compound. It helps reduce gut inflammation and supports the growth of beneficial gut bacteria. Turmeric is particularly beneficial for conditions like IBS and ulcerative colitis. All right. So it's beneficial for that, too. So that's another thing. Now, you can buy this stuff from anywhere. But I'm going to tell you a place that I know where you can get it. Samba Tree. That's right. SambaTree.com. And this is a site a store that my wife and we started some years ago. And this is our area. This is our thing, man. And so we sell things like I just mentioned and many, many other things, too, to help regulate your stomach area like that. You know what I mean? In case you run into this. Now, the key is you got to change your diet, too. That means you got to avoid this stuff. So anyway, so check it out at SambaTree.com. All right. Now, so in conclusion, again, so like what Keith Lee, he brought up at the beginning of this video here, you got to be careful, especially in this day and age right now. Everybody is cutting corners. And like I said, unfortunately, including a lot of these restaurants, they're cutting corners, too. And so, you do want to help out folks, especially, you see a restaurant that's just starting out and they're doing, and you're like, man, let me help them out. Let me support them and all of that. But your body is number one above all of that. So you want to look out for yourself too. And don't be afraid to ask. Okay. That's the big thing. Don't be afraid to ask. And hopefully, maybe enough people ask that will put in their minds like, hey, you know what? This is a great concern to this customer base. I'm not going to compromise on that. That's how these restaurant owners, that's how they're going to get the message, by you as the consumer demanding for that change. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's it. That's all I have for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys take care, and I will see you again soon. Take care now.